Everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here with an update on the Brittney Griner story. You guys know that Brittney Griner is a popular member of the Women's National Basketball Association. She plays for the Phoenix Mercury, I believe, and I'm going to drop a link above where I talk about the fact that she has been detained in Russia. She was arrested on drug charges. And so there's an update to the story that is coming out that American citizens were advised in January not to go to Russia because of this impending war with Ukraine. And so some of the people who play over in Russia decided that they were still going to go. And Brittney Griner was one of those people. And so an article in ESPN is stating that reacting to WNBA star Brittney Griner being detained in Russia, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Sunday the United States will provide every possible assistance to citizens who are being held in foreign countries. There's only so much I can say given the privacy considerations at this point. Whenever an American detained anywhere in the world, we of course stand ready to provide every possible assistance, and that includes Russia. We have an embassy team that's working on the cases of other Americans who are detained in Russia. We're doing everything we can to see to it that their rights are upheld and respected. And that is a statement that was provided by Antony Blinken regarding Brittney Griner. And then Blinken made his remarks at a joint news conference with Moldova President Mya Sandu. Griner is being detained in Russia after customs officials said they found haddish oil in her luggage at an airport near Moscow in February. Like many WNBA players, Griner has long played overseas in the winter months, most recently in Russia. The State Department issued a do not travel advisory for Russia on January 23rd that warned Americans against traveling to Russia because of the potential for harassment against U.S. citizens, the embassy's limited ability to assist U.S. citizens in Russia, COVID-19 and related entry restrictions, terrorism, harassment by Russian government security officials, and the arbitrary enforcement of local law. And then another do not travel advisory was issued Saturday, 9 days after Russia began its military invasion of Ukraine. And so the 31-year-old Griner has played 9 seasons with the Phoenix Mercury, who lost in the WNBA Finals in October to the Chicago Sky. And then she won a championship with the Mercury in 2014 and gold medals with the United States at the Olympics in 2016 and 2021. And she also helped lead this Russian team that she plays for to a championship last season. And then NPR followed up on the story as well. And they pretty much give the same information. They add that the Russian government announced that it had detained Griner in Sheremetyevo, I'm probably butchering that name, International Airport near Moscow for allegedly transporting vape cartridges containing hash oil. The exact timing of her arrest is not clear, but the Russian state news agency TASS reported that it took place in February. Now, what I find interesting is that she flew out of New York to Russia, so I'm not sure why they keep saying they don't know exactly when it happened, because all they need to do is check the flight information out of New York, right, to know what day she flew out. But then I did see another article that states that she has been detained for 3 weeks now, which means that she would have been arrested in the middle of February. And let's see, it says, and then I also pointed out to you guys in my first video how they probably were going to try and turn this into a story about the lack of pay or low pay for women in the WNBA, and I've read several stories where they point that out. And so in this NPR article, they state, as of a union agreement signed in 2020, the average income of a WNBA player was less than $130,000, with salaries maxing out somewhere around $500,000. It's a stark contrast to the salaries earned by top male NBA players, which often go up to tens of millions of dollars. For female players, the salaries offered by foreign leagues can be a real draw. As of 2015, UMMC Ekaterinburg, which is where she plays, was paying Tracy a reported $1.5 million per season. And that's another WNBA player. When Griner was signed to the team, it was also not long after before she and her former wife, Gloria Johnson, a former WNBA player, were both arrested on domestic violence charges. Tracy, too, had gotten into legal troubles, working in Russia, but had gotten into trouble, but working in Russia allowed them both a chance to step out of the American spotlight. So it doesn't look like there's really much that the government is going to be able to do to help Griner, because there are other Americans that are being held over there. And so that would be kind of condescending for them to go out of their way to get her released when you already have other players over there. And then you guys know that Brittney Griner, she is gay, and Russia has serious issues with homosexuality. And so that is another issue that she is going to be facing. And so in the NPR article, they also go into the fact saying that the LGBTQ community in Russia says that it is often harassed and discriminated against by the country's government. Last month, the Russian Ministry of Justice tried to shut down one of the country's most active and prominent gay rights groups, the Russian LGBT Network. In 2019, 2 people were killed and some 40 others detained during crackdowns on the LGBTQ community in Chechnya. In Chechnya, I think is how it's pronounced. On Saturday, Representative Joaquin Castro, a Democrat out of Texas, suggested on Twitter that Griner had been detained because she is an American. And he states, "I'm closely monitoring reports on Texan at Brittney Griner's detention in Russia." And that was referring to a U.S. Marine who has been detained there for more than 2 years. Castro continued, this follows a pattern of Russia wrongly detaining and imprisoning U.S. citizens, including Trevor Reed. U.S. citizens are not political pawns. Brittney, Trevor, and other Americans must be safely returned. So once again, we're going to keep Brittney and anyone else who's being detained in Russia in our prayers. Don't know how much the U.S. government can do at this point, since they announced yesterday that they're already launching sanctions against Russia because of the Ukraine situation, and now they're stepping up those sanctions. And so don't foresee them doing much for Brittney. And based on what they were saying about the amount of the hash oil that she had, it is not what would be considered a misdemeanor here is what would be a felony here in the U.S. And she could be facing up to 10 years in prison. So keep Brittney Griner and other Americans in your prayers, and I will continue to update you guys on this story as it continues to unfold. So go ahead, leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.